Annie and Dave Daly right here on the Muskegon channel. I'm Andy O'Reilly. There's Dave Cackley. Welcome to Monday. It's well, we had a little rain yesterday, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Little rain, and I know you were shedding tears this weekend for a different reason.
I wanted to go to that concert.
Okay, this is what I had to ask you if okay, you're a 53-year-old man,
Yep.
and you were, according if the social medias can be believed,
Yep.
you were, quote, butthurt over missing Taylor Swift in concert. And I thought at first, because you'd posted earlier about what great show she puts up, blah,
Yep.
blah, blah. And then the following day, you really were talking about being hurt over it. And I thought, he can't really be serious. This isn't a serious
I saw the pictures.
post.
I saw the footage. I saw
Mhm.
everybody's highlights of the show. I saw the reactions of the kids and the fans and the people
Mhm.
that are really into her.
Right.
I would have loved to have been there just to see that entire atmosphere, to see the spectacle of that show. You know what? I've got a couple of Taylor Swift songs on my iPhone. I like "Shake It Off." I think that song "Mean" is funnier than hell. Have you ever heard the song "Mean"?
No, I don't. Well, if I
Listen to
did,
it,
I
because
completely
it's
forgot
funny.
about it.
I mean, she pulls no punches in that song whatsoever. It's hysterical. It's really funny. But what was built with that show, the level of spectacle, the level of visual and audio and movement and everything else, it's beyond compare. And had I had the foresight to get some tickets to go see that, I think I would have been better off. I really, and music aside, think what you want about pop divas and
No,
bubblegum
I'm
trash music and all that kind of stuff.
fine with that.
I think just to be a part of that live experience once would benefit anybody, because I think that's a once in a lifetime concert. I really do.
I think I figured it out this weekend, and maybe I'd figured it out before and forgotten about
Oh,
it, what her thing is, because it sure as shit isn't her voice, because she's got a mediocre voice at best. Let's be honest. She's got very little vocal range.
it's average.
She has catchy songs, but yeah, I'll take Carrie Underwood. I'll take Miley Cyrus. I will take Katy Perry, and it ain't even close. I mean, those are much better voices. I don't know about the performance thing because I haven't been to a show. I've seen the videos. I think a large part of it, because again, like Madonna, the Madonna's a superstar thing. Even though I wasn't a fan of Madonna, I understood why she was a superstar. She had a great voice. She's a great self promoter. Taylor Swift is great at the business of Taylor Swift, which is self promotion, knowing who her audience is. It's young girls, especially young girls going through heartache, but also she's not really threatening. What I mean by this, she's got this girl next door appeal.
Yep.
Okay, because the other women I brought, it's no, there's no mistake. I mean, Carrie Underwood, Katy Perry, and Miley Cyrus, probably better looking. I don't, I think, at least to me, as a man anyway. But I think she's likable. She's got a likability
Yeah.
to her audience, and I do think there's something to that. She's the girl next door. She's attractive, but not so much so that she's seen as threatening. That may sound weird,
Yeah.
but I think there is some truth to that. But yeah, like again, I don't begrudge her at all. I think God bless her. She's close to a billionaire if she's not one yet, and she understands who her audience is, and that goes along. And she's a hard worker. She busts her ass. Again, the voice isn't there, but you know what? Bob Dylan's voice wasn't there, and Bob Dylan is hugely successful, and I'm a Bob Dylan fan, even though his voice is shit. So I can understand that. I just as a 50-something-year-old man, though, your enjoyment of it, I think it's not what you're saying. Is it's not her really. It's you wanted to see how the crowd reacts to her, and
Everything.
to be kind of
I mean,
caught up in that.
How can you not enjoy something that's got that much put into it? I mean, the effort that went into producing that entire show is probably bigger than, well, I mean, and this is coming from somebody who's seen major
Hmm.
shows. I mean, big,
Right.
big, big, big shows, and been a part of them. I've worked in them. You
Yeah.
know,
But the bigger the production, whether you're talking, the lights, the dance, it to me, it's like it's trying to it has to cover up for the
no,
fact
no,
that she doesn't have a great voice.
I disagree
That's
with that.
part of that's because, and that's what, again, and I go back to my Eagles fandom. What I've always appreciated about the Eagles is their songs are so good, the music's so good. They don't need to do anything other than be five guys sitting on a stool strumming along and singing great songs. And again, that's a different audience. You're not talking about a bunch of young kids that want to whoop it
Right.
up, and especially young girls wanting to, really become immersed in the whole production, which
I'll
is
tell you.
all the pops and buzzes around the music. Because I
I'll
don't
tell
know
you
that
what.
it's necessarily the music.
I'll give you a contrast.
Go ahead.
So you got, and I'll flash you back to the '90s.
Mhm.
Pearl Jam.
Yes.
If you remember what they went through because they were trying to make a statement with Ticketmaster and they were trying to do
Hmm.
this and they were trying to do
Yeah.
that. You know what? For all that Pearl Jam was and all of the attention they got and everything else, I saw Pearl Jam live once. And for the level of BS that they put their fans through to be able to get to see them, to be able to get to buy tickets to see them, to travel, to put up with everything that goes into going to a concert and everything else, it was just highway robbery because
Mm.
you had five guys standing there staring at the floor singing
And
Eiffel
their music,
Tower.
yeah. And their, yeah, and then
And
again, yeah,
I sat there the entire
I
time
get that.
thinking to myself, for less of a headache, Kiss would blow the roof off this place.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
okay, so you can easily equate that formula to Taylor Swift,
Mhm.
and
That's
you
a
look at
fair point.
everything that goes into getting a Taylor
Okay.
Swift ticket, and she delivers. Here's the show, and at
Mhm.
the end of the weekend, after you see 500 different viewpoints from people's Facebook feeds, you're like,
Yeah.
geez, I probably should have gone to see that. That would have,
So I still that still wouldn't be, that's still not enough. Again, all due respect, I I have zero interest in seeing most concerts or really any concerts at
yeah.
this point in my life. That I can't, for me, just
Had you knowing
vocally I
you as
can't
long as
get
I
past the
have,
voice.
and knowing the way you react to different things, had you
Mhm.
gone to see that, had somebody walked up to you and said, "Dave, look, I got a limousine and a free ticket to Taylor Swift for you tonight."
Okay, okay, you had me at limo,
Of
and
course,
I'm assuming there's a bar there, so I could
of
have a
course,
few. I could knock
of
back a
course.
few on the way, and
This
then maybe,
morning,
yeah, okay.
you know what? This morning, you would be on here going, "Oh my God, Taylor Swift's the greatest thing I've ever seen." That's how it would
Okay, come
go.
on. Okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Okay, and
No,
I didn't even throw Anne Murray into the whole
Anne
vocal range because
Murray,
that's already understood
what a zero
that she's
act.
the creme de la creme of voices. But anyway,
Anyway,
all right, we've been okay. This has been a Taylor Swiftathon for about 15 minutes. So let's knock out a couple of minutes of
do
news
I have
then.
time to win another cupcake? Because Cindy's
No,
dumb
you
golf
don't.
friends didn't show up at her outing
Uh
yesterday, so
oh.
I know.
So I guess you got you. That's what you're
We're eating
having for
good in the
breakfast,
neighborhood.
lunch, and
That's right.
obviously. All right, the House Oversight Committee is preparing a hearing on UFOs. This comes on the heels of claims from a former intelligence officer that the U.S. has found crashed alien spacecraft. A spokesperson for the Pentagon says the alleged crash has not been verified.
Of course not.
Of course, they're not verifying anything, and I don't think anything's going to come out of this hearing. You're going to get what you want to get in the whole space. Who knows? This may be some sort of, I, because again, I'm open to the possibility, and I think they're here probably. But I, a lot of this doesn't so much of this seem like it's like a diversionary tactic. We're
No,
being diverted.
no.
Everything's diversion.
Quit
Everything
thinking
feels
everything's a
like you're
conspiracy.
trying. No, see, that's not it. Everything's not a conspiracy.
Right.
Some things are though, and it's trying to figure out which is which and who's doing what to who and why
Look,
you're
here,
trying to sell me on this and why this isn't a bigger story.
here,
This is the other thing that drives me
right.
nuts. Is this should be the number one story across the board, and
Of
it
course
doesn't
it
seem like
should.
anybody's talking about it.
But here's the problem. It doesn't create fights. It doesn't start politics wars. It doesn't, have the back and forth on social media. Here's the thing with the whole alien stuff. We're getting to the point now where it's going to become undeniable. There's been enough research by
Yeah.
people like Graham Parker
Mhm.
and what's his nuts with the hair,
Bob Lazar.
Bob Lazar and everybody else. I mean, and Giorgio Tsoukalos
Mhm.
and all these other guys. We're going to get to the point where there's going to be um, there's going to be beyond proof that there was intelligent life here of some sort
Mhm.
at one point or another that we just can't remember. It's called
Yeah.
human amnesia. We've got gaps in the history of the human timeline
Mhm.
that we just don't know.
Yeah.
There are certain things across written history in all backgrounds of life, and cataclysm is one of them that is a
Mhm.
recurring theme. And the cataclysm of about 11,000 years ago seems to be the one that kind of wiped everything out of recent memory.
Hmm.
So
That's
as we look at things
who
like the
knows.
polar ice caps getting thinner, especially Antarctica, they're starting to see images of buildings underneath the ice, and they're starting to think that that may be displaced Atlantis. So
Who knows.
the reality is
I
going
mean,
to get
again,
here sooner or later, and these governments are going to have to come around and go, yeah, well, this happened, and we sat on it as
mhm,
long as we could. We don't want anybody to panic, and
right.
uh,
But it just seems like the level of public interest isn't there like it should be, and
I would love
I
it to be
don't know
more.
why that is.
It
We'll
fascinates
see.
me.
Yeah, it's interesting. What else is going on? The Hollywood writers' strike over a month-old. Actors may be the next to hit the picket lines. The Screen Actors Guild announced last week that 98% of its members had authorized a strike. The union represents 160,000 actors and performers. Again, I sympathize with the writers. They go a little overboard when they talk about not being able to make a living wage, making 62,000 a year. Okay, so they're not making as much as maybe they could or should. And again, with the Chat GPT being able to write scripts, and of course now we're in the summer, and not
I'm going to tell you
you're
something.
not there's not a lot there's not going to be a lot of impetus to get a deal done anytime in the near future.
I'm going to tell
So
you something. $62,000
I don't know what
a
you're going
year
to
to
do.
live in Los Angeles ain't
Well, you
enough.
don't have to live in Los. Here's the problem.
All
Here's
right, all right.
the point though.
Fair enough.
You don't have to live in Los
Fair
Angeles
enough.
anymore.
But here's the other problem. I've been I've been watching carefully to find out this AI Chat GPT created stuff
Mm-hmm.
on TV. The UFO channel has a lot of it. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of it. And it's not there yet.
The Chat GPT as
No.
far as writing scripts, it
No.
sure as hell
No,
is.
it's not.
From a script
And I'll
no,
tell you
from a
why. If you listen carefully, hear me out.
go ahead.
If you listen carefully, there is way too much repetition. They will pick
Yeah,
a topic.
right.
They'll pick a topic and it
Mhm.
will go statement, 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 all basically the same thing, but differently worded. And here's the other problem with Chat GPT and AI created content. Um, Name pronunciation. I was listening to
Okay,
one
that's a
the other day, and
big
you know
stroke,
what?
yeah.
Ancient Aliens. They were talking about
Mhm.
Zachariah Sitchin,
Yeah.
and within within 5 minutes, the the voice that was generated by the computer pronounced Zachariah Sitchin three different ways. So it's not ready yet. It's close. Don't get me wrong, but if you pay close attention to what is going on with Chat GPT and all this other kind of stuff, there are a lot of mistakes that are still being made with it.
Well, here's the thing: is you can adjust for the mistakes. In fact, I saw this done on CNN. Actually, Michael Smerconish, who does a show on CNN 9 o'clock Saturday mornings, did a piece on Chat GPT, and he did it after he did a story. I can't remember what the story was. It was very clear, coherent. He said, "That was not me. I did not write this. No one at CNN wrote this. This was done by
Yep.
ChatGPT." You could not tell the difference. Now, with some longer scripts from longer, okay, there might be some repetition, but all you got to do is have one guy go in here and edit. Max did this with some papers this year for like he'd have the Chat GPT write it out, and then he would go back. Now, for him, it's hard because he has to go back and make it look like a seventh grader wrote it. So you go back in and you adjust and you do everything that you're supposed to do to make it. So for him, it's like, dude, you might as well have just written this yourself because of all the editing you got to go back and do to make it, so you basically are writing it. It's basically giving you a format to do it in, and you just adjust.
So did you just
adjust
admit
the
your kid
information.
cheating on a paper?
He didn't cheat because everybody else in the class is doing it, and the teachers either look the other way or kind of because they understand that, look, this is the technology. They're going to need to know how to use it and how to make it work. Here's the thing is, this technology is going so fast, it's going past the teachers, and the students are kind of they're getting a hold on it in some areas a lot quicker because of the fact they grew up immersed in this completely.
Okay.
So, again, it's one of those things. If you're a writer and that's your profession, you got to figure out a way to adjust to this. And I don't know how you do it if that's your profession, because it's not going to be unless you're unless you're an author and can write books. Oh, but here's the problem. You can't disinvent it. It's not going to disinvent itself. It's not going to be gone ever. It's here, and it's going to stay here.
Okay.
And now we have to all adjust accordingly. I've said this before. We can complain about how technology is going and what it's doing. And there's a reason to complain. That's why I get it, and I get the frustration. But at the end of the day, you got to figure out a way to work with it and adjust your life accordingly. Otherwise, it's going to swallow you whole, either professionally or personally.
Okay.
So you got to try to get all your ducks in a row. Anyway, finally, nearly 1.7 million Michigan residents are eligible for discounts on their internet bills. The state's Affordable Connectivity Program is providing low-income families $30 a month for high-speed internet so far. Around 644,000 households have already enrolled. So it's you might want to pick that up a bit if you're if you're in the need, you have the ability to get that.
This interwebs, it's the new craze.
Yes. It's not. Speaking of things that aren't going away. Okay. Sports. Tigers lose again. This is beyond a habit now. They've dropped 9 in a row. They fall to Arizona 7-5. Frisco hammers the Cubbies 13-3. Denver, Miami. NBA season could come to an end tonight. If Denver wins, they're up 3-1.
Oh, I'm biting my nails now. I can't wait.
That's sports.
All right. It's the Star Spangled Banner today in our Jeopardy category. It's for $200.
Francis Scott Key. Okay.
Huh?
Francis Scott Key.
How did you know?
Is that the answer?
No, it's not. But way to feel important, like you really know something. All right.
I knew he wrote
They provide a red glare to the battle scene.
That would be, what are the Rockets?
Give him $200. Look at you.
We were looking for Rockets.
I'm going to go ahead and write this down right now. 36,200. 36,200 in the hole. Congratulations, Dave. Way to kick off a Monday in the right vibe. Look at you, shimmy and shake.
Yes, this is my Monday shimmy.
Are you?
There you go.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome.
I loved it. See you tomorrow.
See ya.
Happy Monday, Muskegon. Hope you all enjoyed your weekend and enjoyed the rain that we saw on Sunday. This week, we do have some rain chances, but nothing overly impressive. So let's look at your forecast brought to you by Trinity Health. Your weather headlines for this week show we will stay cool but dry on Monday as an upper level low parks itself over the Great Lakes. And then we will have a few rain chances this week, primarily on Tuesday and also on Thursday. And then this weekend does have a decent chance of rain, especially on Saturday with temperatures holding in the 70s. So this is why Monday will be cold. That upper level low right across Michigan in that purple color will be just parked across the area over the next couple of days, which means highs will be stuck in the 60s for both Monday and Tuesday. But it looks like we'll be dry slotted today which will keep us dry and actually likely see some sunshine today. Temperature-wise, we'll be holding in the mid-60s today, so a fairly cold day today, especially for mid-June standards, with temperatures at the beach holding only in the 50s. And speaking of the beach, it probably wouldn't be the best idea to go to it, at least go in the water, because temperatures in the air and in the water are pretty cold, so that wouldn't be the best idea, and waves will also be a little bit choppy, especially earlier in the day at 2 to 4 feet. So for your Monday, expect a high of 64 with partly cloudy skies. We'll actually see some sunshine today, even though it will be a little bit cooler, with a low of 51 as well, with mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. And like I said, Tuesday does have a small chance of rain, but unfortunately, that is continually dropping as it looks like most of the moisture will be staying away from West Michigan and places like Wisconsin and Illinois rather than us. But thankfully, we'll have another rain chance Wednesday night going into Thursday as highs slowly start to warm up toward the weekend. Friday will be the best day out of the entire week with mostly sunny skies and highs in the lower 80s. And then, like I said, this weekend also looks like we have at least a chance of scattered rain showers as humidity will also be on the increase. And that's your Monday forecast brought to you by Trinity Health on the Muskegon channel. And I'm Colton's Weather, and enjoy your week.